Okay, fifth grade. Hi. So today I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to try to show you the notes that you're going to see for multiplying decimals. And then on the right side, I'm going to actually do an example for you by following these steps. So now that we are finished with adding and subtracting decimals, we're probably going to spend the rest of the week and possibly another day next week just to make sure that we understand the process of multiplying decimals and what exactly it is that we're doing and making sure that we understand what decimals are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow these steps. Now you have this in your Google slide, and it's just like a little anchor chart that's going to help you guys with multiplying decimals. Okay. So the first step says we're going to multiply first. Don't worry about the decimals. Okay. So here on the right side, I have my own multiplication problem. So I'm going to read this. 3 and 24 hundredths times 5 and 1/10. Okay. Now, with math or with addition and subtraction, you've been told to line up your decimals. Okay. You are not going to do that with multiplying decimals. So what I'm going to do is the number that has the most digits, I'm going to write that on top first. So 3 and 24 hundredths. It has the most digits. It has 3 digits, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to write 5 and 1/10. Now I'm going to write that directly below 5 and 1/10. Now we are multiplying. Let me actually make this darker. Okay, so the first rule over there, right there, says you're going to multiply first. Multiplication, we already know how to do that. We spent a lot of time with multiplying whole numbers. So we're going to go ahead and multiply just like we normally do. Now remember some of the things I showed you guys were I put this little, called it a little turtle head because it looks like a turtle. I put that around there so that I know to multiply everything in the ones place by all of the digits up top. So I'm going to do that. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. Now notice I'm keeping everything lined up. 1 times 3 is 3. Okay, so now that I'm finished multiplying everything by the with the ones place, now I'm going to look at my tens place. Now remember, this is the important part. Okay, so I'm still multiplying. I'm still doing step 1, multiply first. Now remember, since I'm finished with the ones place, I have to add that 0 here as that placeholder for me. Now I'm going to be in the tens place. Okay, so even though this isn't technically the tens place, this is the ones place. Remember, I am multiplying as if those decimals are not there. Okay, pretending those decimals are not there. So I am multiplying like I normally would. And then later we're going to talk about the decimals. So now I have 5 times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Okay, now I multiplied like I did before. Now when I'm multiplying, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add my partial products. 4 plus 0 is 4, 2 plus 0, 2, 3 plus 2 is 5. Bring down my 6 and my 1. Okay, now I am not finished. The first step was multiply first, worry about the decimals. Okay, don't worry about them. Now, the second step, now that I'm finished multiplying, this is the part where it can be tricky. This is a part where I have to count the decimal places. Okay, now look at the example over here. In the example here, when we're counting the decimal places, when I look here, let's see if I can highlight this. This is a decimal place. This is a decimal place. So I'm counting the decimal places. So here's my decimal, and these are the places behind my decimal. So how many places do I have behind the decimal? I have 1 place, 2 place, 3 places. Okay, so that's our example. Now, I'm going to look at my problem over here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count the decimal places. Okay, so let's count the decimal places. I'm going to use, I guess I'll use blue. No, red. Let's count the decimal places. So here's my decimal here. So how many places are behind? 1, 2. Here's my decimal place, 3. So I have 3 decimal places. Okay. Now, this is crucial because this is how many places I'm going to move my decimal. So when I look at the next step right there, place the decimal point in the answer. We're going to use the same number of swoops as you counted. So we're going to use the same number of decimal places that we counted. So when we're doing that, we start at the far right. So right now, here's my decimal. Now, how many places am I going to move that to the left? I'm going to move it 3 decimal places. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Oh, my pen got in the way. So there's my decimal. Okay. So my product, 3 2400ths times 5 1/10 equals 16 524 thousandths. Now, when we're multiplying, I want you to think, okay, would it make sense for this, my product to be 16,000? We really have to think about what we're multiplying. Look at my whole numbers. What are my whole numbers here? 3 2400ths. This means 3 is my whole number, and the 2400ths is a decimal. This is less than 1. So this number, 3 2400ths, it's not even close to 4. If I were to round this, it would round to 3. When I look at 5 1/10, that number is closer to 5 than it is to 6. So think about that. If I multiply 5 times 3, what should my product be? It should be 15. So this should tell me right here by multiplying these whole numbers, my answer or my product should be close to 15. Does that make sense? Yes. 16 524 thousandths is close to the number 15 when I multiply 3 times 15. So this is something that we need to remember when we are multiplying decimals. Okay, so that is what you are doing today, multiplying decimals.